All right, now to the Western Conference Finals, where the Los Angeles Clippers, for the third straight series, got down 2-0 and then won game three, as they did in this series. They beat the Suns 106-92, despite the return of one Chris Paul. That was not quite enough for Finks, as he struggled in his return from before. He was just 5 for 19. Devin Booker just 5 for 21. So combined, they were 10 for 40 and just 30 points between them. Paul George was a difficult shooting night, but he did rack up 27 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists on 9 for 26. Reggie Jackson continues his strong playoffs with 23 points. He was 9 for 17. And the Clippers use a strong third quarter, and they end up winning this one by 14 points. They're back in the series, game 4 tonight. Drink, was this a bit of an aberration, or is this something that the Clippers can build upon?
I think it's a little bit of both. Listen, I do think the Clippers can build upon this. Why do I think that? I think, the performances from Jackson, the performances from the likes of Man, the defense you're getting from Beverly, and just, shall I say, Paul George's leadership. I don't know how much he's impacting that department, but he got to be doing something. Because Kawhi Leonard up there in his private box with the kids. So this all on Paul George, right? So with that said, I do think they could build upon this. I think this is a good launch pad for them to see what they want to do for the rest of the series. But I also think it's an admiration a little bit. Here's the deal: Chris Paul coming back. It was rust, residual from the protocol, whatever the case might be. Chris Paul wasn't really Chris Paul. Devin Booker coming in here with his mask on. I think he was lost in the sauce. We have to understand, wearing that mask for whatever reasons, you got to be a special type of player to still be able to perform with this hard cast mask on your face, and you like these straps around your head and all this, like that bothers you when you're an NBA player. Why? Because you come up in a rhythm and a pace type of deal. This mask don't help that rhythm at all. And once again, we have to remember how young these players are for the Phoenix Suns. This is Devin Booker's first real action in the playoffs. He getting his nose broke. He getting a double team when he come down. He's realizing that it gets real the farther you get. It gets tougher. And that's what Devin Booker starting to realize. This ain't a beat up Lakers team. This ain't an undermanned Nuggets team. This is a scrappy LA Clippers team. And listen, for you say whatever you want about the Clippers. You say whatever you want about Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly out here, he making Booker work. He out here roughing up Book. Hey, Patrick Beverly say, I'm gonna earn my money in this series. So listen, they're doing what you supposed to do. To a veteran team is doing what they supposed to do to a young team like this. You rough them up, you let them know welcome to the playoffs, and that's how you get back in the series. But I cannot believe that Chris Paul will be rusted for the rest of the series. I cannot believe that Devin Booker gonna keep that mask on for the rest of the series. And the likes of, I think the biggest thing that happened in this game that makes me think that the Clippers will get back in the series is the injury to Cameron Payne. If they do not get him back because of his ankle, and he missed, I don't know, let's say the next 2 to 3 games, that's going to doom a problem for the Suns. Why? Chris Paul is an older player. He plays a slower pace of game. When he was out, Cameron Payne was playing a more high-paced game. So high pace equals plus for younger players. Slow pace equal plus for older players. So that's why when you watch teams like the Lakers play, they play at a very slow pace. Every now and then they get in transition and they run and gun. But for the most part, the Lakers played a very slow paced game. Why? Because they were an older team. Now, the Phoenix Suns, they had got accustomed to the faster pace with Cameron Payne. DeAndre Ayton at the rim, Booker coming off the wings doing what he do, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, etc., etc. They're running, gunning because they're younger. This is how they're used to playing now because of AAU, and then you go to college, and then you come to NBA, and it's just. So I think the Suns will have to readjust here a little bit. They're gonna have to readjust to Chris Paul coming in here with a slower pace. Chris Paul will have to be better though. If you're gonna come in and change the whole infrastructure of the Suns like you're doing now, we're gonna need you to play better, Chris Paul, because they was smoking on all cylinders when Cameron Payne was running the point. And I would say this. Chris Paul started this whole high assist, low turnover thing before he got hurt. I thought Cameron Payne took that up to the next level when he stepped in for Chris Paul. We have to make sure that Chris Paul does come in and he keeps that going as well. I think that was one of the big things in the last series and then coming into this series that kept them, relatively unscathed was their assist to turnover ratio was outstanding. So they got to keep that going. But to be honest with you, I think the Suns and Patrick Beverley defense, because I'm going to give him credit, I think the Suns were more of an obstacle to themselves because of the injury and because of the change of pace with Chris Paul. I think we get a more energized Suns team now because I don't know if Cameron Payne been ruled out for the game tonight already, but once they realize they're not going to get him back, I think their focus will go more towards, okay, we're going to have to play a slower pace. This is how we're going to get back to that, more of a control the game pace. And I think they'll play a little better tonight than they played in the last game due to that fact. But I do still think this is the Suns series to lose just because I don't know. I gotta make sure that Reggie Jackson is really ready because he seems to be the key for the Clippers. Like, I know what Paul George's role is. I know what Zubac do. Ty Lue, I got all that. But Reggie Jackson seems to be the guy that's really keeping this thing afloat for the Clippers. Like, he's playing at an all-star level. He's playing at the level that got him paid a while back, if I'm being honest. He's playing at the level that got him paid. He's looking really good. And then that allows players like Patrick Beverley to go out there and get you nothing on the offense, but, do his thing on the defense where he's taking the other star out of the game or at least making it hard for him to play. And I really like that recipe for success, but I think the Suns kind of, just kind of hurt themselves with their change of pace. But we'll get a better picture of that tonight when we're watching them play to see if how much the Suns will miss Cameron Payne in this series tonight.
I think it's an aberration. I can't imagine the Clippers doing this again, recovering from a 2-0 deficit, and maybe they win tonight and tie it up. But without Kawhi Leonard, and now the Suns are they're healthy. Cameron Payne right now is listed as probable. We don't know how now. Even if he plays, we don't know if the ankle will impact him all that much. But I mean, he's coming off the bench now, so they got their 5 horses in there. They are the most healthy team in the NBA. They've been give the trainer a little extra money, give him a bonus because this guy doing something right. Paul George, the Clippers, Ty Lue, these guys deserve a ton of credit, and I am going to say this. If they pull this thing off, and they already, to me, this is, as far as mental toughness goes, this team is way up there put them up there amongst whoever you want to. If they are able to come back and win this series, this might be the most mentally tough team of all time. I don't know if maybe there's a team out there that's done a multiple 2-0 deficits, they've come back, but 3, I guarantee that ain't happened before.
And think about this now. What does that say about Tyronn Lue if they come back and win this series? Yeah. You gotta, because then you gotta equate what he's been doing with the Clippers, what he did with Cleveland when they was down 3-1 in the NBA Finals. Yeah, came back and won that.
I think, I would say I think already this is his most impressive job that he's done coaching. I just think it's, LeBron James, LeBron James. I think it starts and ends there. I think it's a little bit easier, even though the 3-1 stuff. But I think this is Todd Blue's best job that he's done, keeping these guys engaged. You keep falling down 2-0. I mean, you think about it. You fall down 1-0, it's about like 80% chance that the team that goes up 1-0 wins. It only goes, further and further up when you get down 2-0. So to be able to, be resilient, be mentally tough, and come back and win the past two series. And then, the way that game 2 ended with the last second alley oop, the gut punch, Paul George over here clanging free throws in clutch time. That would have been, if Phoenix comes in and they roll these dudes out of here, I don't think we would have said nothing. It's like, well, Phoenix better and they healthier. And, that's kind of almost what we somewhat kind of suspected as these playoffs started to unfold. Is that, well, AD down. Phoenix is going to slide on through. Jamal Murray, yep, that injury showing up. This whole Campazzo and Austin Rivers thing, they ain't going to get it done. Slide on into conference finals, and now, Kawhi hurt. Here we go. So, I mean, I wouldn't have held it too much against them, but their mental toughness is something that should be commended. I think the points you made about Reggie Jackson are huge. I think he's been, their most consistent player in this playoffs, and yeah, he's playing like the guy who Detroit thought they was getting several years ago. And don't also forget Marcus Morris. He's been hobbled too. So that's another guy that we can't gloss that over. So, but I think I got to roll with Phoenix tonight just for the simple fact that Chris Paul and Devin Booker are not going to go 10 for 40. They're going to be a lot better. I got to believe Booker. Maybe he adjusts a little bit with the mask or whatever he's doing. But speaking as someone who has worn a lot of masks in the past year, I know how difficult it is to roll with them. I can only imagine.
You ain't wore no mask all over your face, man. What are you talking about over here?
I don't want the CDC to cancel me. I've been taking it seriously. I just throw that in there.